For most new parents, that first flight with a baby is a choice. It's something you plan, maybe for a vacation, months down the line. But for surrogacy families, that first flight is a whole different story. It's not a choice. It's the final critical mission to bring your baby home. So today, we're going to break down your mission plan.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? While everyone you know might be telling you, oh, just wait a few months, the reality of a surrogacy journey is you could be in a totally different state. Or even a different country, just hanging out in a hotel for 3 months? Yeah, that's not happening. You've got to get home.
So how in the world do you square this circle? Over here, you've got all the standard medical advice saying, wait, let that little immune system get stronger. And over here, you have the hard and fast reality that you need to get on a plane, sometimes just days after your baby is born. Well, that's what this is all about. This is your guide to doing it safely and smartly.
All right, let's treat this exactly like a mission, breaking it down into clear, actionable steps. And step 1, the very first thing you have to do is make that crucial go/no-go decision. And that all starts with getting the right kind of clearance.
This document right here, this is your golden ticket. Seriously, the Fit to Fly letter is the official piece of paper that connects what the doctors say is okay with what the airlines will allow. It's the key that lets a newborn, often younger than 2 weeks old, get on that plane. Make sure you ask the pediatrician for this at the hospital discharge checkup.
Now, from a medical standpoint, doctors are all about harm reduction. For a healthy, full-term baby, flying after that first week is generally seen as safe, as long as you have that letter. But for premature babies, that's a whole different ballgame. They need very specific clearance from a specialist, and they often have to pass something called a car seat test to make sure their little lungs can handle the change in air pressure at high altitudes.
Okay, and this is where you have to pay close attention. Just look at how wildly different these airline policies are. American is often a go-to for surrogacy families because they'll let a baby as young as 2 days old fly with a doctor's note. But then you look at United or Southwest, and they have much stricter policies. The big takeaway here is absolutely crucial. You have to check the specific airline's policy for newborns before you even think about booking that ticket. All right, so you've got the green light from the doctor, and you've picked an airline that works. Mission Phase 2 is all about gathering your intelligence and your gear. And I'm talking about way more than just diapers and wipes. For surrogacy families, your paperwork is just as critical as your formula. It's very likely you'll be traveling before an official birth certificate has even been issued. That's why your Parentage Order, that's the court document that legally proves you are the parents, is an absolute non-negotiable must-have. You'll want that, plus the hospital discharge papers to prove the baby's age, in your carry-on at all times. And now for probably the biggest decision you're going to make when you actually book that flight. Do you go with the free option and have the baby on your lap, or do you buy a separate seat for them? Let's really dig into what the experts say. Look, while flying with a lap infant is free on domestic flights, every single medical and safety expert will tell you the same thing. The safest place for a baby on an airplane is in their own FAA-approved car seat, buckled into their own ticketed seat. And here's why it matters so much. If the plane hits severe turbulence, it is physically impossible to hold on to an infant securely. A car seat is the only thing that can protect them. Plus, and this is a big one, it creates this amazing little germ bubble, helping to shield them from everything going on in the cabin. So, you've got your ticket, your documents, your car seat. Awesome. Now it's time to put together the rest of that travel kit and talk about actually getting through the airport. And we're going to start by busting a really common myth. You know that dreaded 3.4-ounce liquid rule at security? The one that has us all buying those tiny little bottles of shampoo? Well, guess what? When you're traveling with a baby, you can pretty much just forget about it.
That's right. Formula, breast milk, and even water for mixing are all exempt from that rule. You're allowed to bring reasonable quantities, which basically means enough to get you through your flight and any potential delays. Here's the pro tip. Pack those liquids in their own separate bag or container, pull them out at security, and just tell the TSA officer right away, hey, I've got baby formula here. It makes the whole screening process go so much faster.
This is such a simple but brilliant little tactic. Whenever you can, book a window seat. Think about it. The aisle seat exposes your baby to every single person walking up and down the aisle, every cough, every bag that bumps by. The window seat creates a natural little buffer, tucking your baby away from all that traffic.
And here's how you take that protection to the next level. You've got the baby in their car seat by the window. Now, pull the car seat's canopy up and then drape a light, breathable muslin cloth over the top. Just like that, you've created a germ bubble. It's the simple little cocoon that helps shield your newborn from all the circulating air and germs from the cabin. A crying baby on a plane is often a baby whose ears hurt. They can't pop their ears on their own, but you can help them. The trick is to get them to swallow during the big pressure changes. So don't start feeding while you're just sitting on the tarmac. Wait until you feel the engines really roar for takeoff, then offer the bottle. And on the way down, listen for the pilot's announcement for initial descent. That's your cue to start feeding again. That swallowing motion is what equalizes the pressure perfectly.
Always take advantage of that pre-boarding call for families with small children. This is not just about avoiding the crowds. This gives you the time you desperately need to wipe down your entire area, the armrests, the tray table, the seatbelt, and to get that car seat installed correctly without feeling rushed by a line of people behind you.
Okay, so you've totally mastered the domestic flight plan. But what happens if your mission home is one of those long-haul international flights? Well, your strategy needs a few key upgrades.
First things first, for a long flight, don't even bother with powdered formula. The tap water on planes is not safe for mixing bottles, so you absolutely want to bring pre-mixed, ready-to-feed formula. Second, and this is a total game changer, the second you book your tickets, call the airline and request a bassinet row. They are first come, first served, and they are a lifesaver. And finally, you have to fight that super dry cabin air. A few drops of saline nose spray for the baby every couple of hours keeps their nasal passages moist and helps them fight off germs.
So, when we put it all together, what's the theme? It's all about preparation. I know this last leg of your surrogacy journey can feel like this big, complex operation, but when you have the right intelligence and the right gear, it is absolutely a mission you can accomplish.
So, after hearing all of this, how are you feeling? A little overwhelmed by the details? Or are you feeling empowered for the journey ahead? The goal here is to show you that by breaking down the rules, the policies, and the strategies, what seems like a really daunting challenge becomes a simple, step-by-step plan. This isn't just another flight. It's the beautiful final journey to bring your family all the way home. Safe travels.